Tonight on CTV News, police defend the way they dealt with a man at a Christchurch gym. We look at child poverty in the city, and a solution to a fishy problem at New Brighton's pier may have been found. Kia ora, good evening. Police have responded to accusations of heavy-handedness while dealing with an offender in a city gym. It comes after a gym member posted a video on social media of the ordeal. Police deny using heavy-handed tactics to deal with a trespasser at a Christchurch gym after video surfaced on social media accusing police of brutality. Police say the video only shows a small part of the drawn-out incident involving a man who snuck into a city fitness on Moorhouse Ave at 9 o'clock last night. The video shows him acting erratically and refusing to take police requests to leave the gym. The clip was posted on Facebook by a person working out at the gym, being viewed more than 7,000 times.
Holy moly, at the gym trying to work out, and look what happens.
In a statement, police say at just over 1 minute, the brief footage available does not reflect the full context of what occurred. When police arrived, they first attempted to communicate with the man, who continued to respond aggressively and be uncooperative. The man, who is known to police, was acting erratically and appeared to be impaired and behaved threateningly towards gym staff. The man, who was not a gym member, appeared to have gained entry from tailgating a member. When asked to leave by gym staff, he told them that he would not leave unless forcefully removed. Further into the video, the man appears to comply with police, but stopped, became aggressive again and shoved an officer, sparking the takedown. It was at that point, police say, the officer swung his arm to place the man in a front headlock, which allowed him to be taken to the ground in a controlled manner. He was then handcuffed and arrested. The man has since been released from police cells with a pre-charge warning. The incident's being reviewed by police and has also been referred to the Independent Police Conduct Authority. A potential solution's been found to solve the upset between the public and fishing off New Brighton's pier. A new platform's being suggested, with the draft design now being drawn up. It's been a debate in Christchurch East for some time. Now a councillor may have come up with a solution to tackle fishing off New Brighton's pier. David East's working to get plans drawn up to provide another space for fishers, keeping away from the public.
I've seen a number of piers, both in the UK and in Australia, where there's a lower fishing deck, and the upper deck is just kept for observation only. And really, I think that's an option we need to give some serious consideration for New Brighton.
It was a plan originally brought up when the New Brighton pier was under construction, but it lost traction.
I'm working with McConnell Dowell, who built the pier in the first place, and they're drawing me up some concept plans about how it could be achieved, and from that point we'll look at the feasibility of the funding side of it.
East's looking to approach the council's annual plan to help fund the project or start a fundraising effort in the community to make it happen.
If we had this lower deck, at least it's contained to an area that is designed for fishing. It's not to say that other people may want to go down there, but they go down on the understanding that this is an area that has been designated for fishing activities.
But he believes now's a good time to consider the idea, as the pier is set to go through some major earthquake repairs.
Each pier is going to have to be encased, water pumped out, and work done on the concrete. So while all that infrastructure is in place, it's an ideal time for us to look at the possibility of making this platform at the end of the pier for fishing.
A local residents' association's been calling for a complete ban from dropping lines and nets from the structure, but East believes the idea could help keep both sides happy.
It was built for all sorts of activities, and fishing is one of them, and I think we just really need to create this lower deck.
The repairs to the pier are set to take place mid-next year, so plans would have to be in place before then. A man who was hit over the head with glass bottles in a Woolston liquor store nearly 3 months ago says it's hard to forgive and forget. Chelsea Daniels explains.
A liquor store assistant was bashed over the head by a young robber, and now his assailant wants forgiveness. But that may be a bitter pill for the Woolston super liquor workers to swallow.
They asking me for sorry, but what they done, they need to learn the lesson, you know. Otherwise, new generation or they will do it again too if they can't learn a lesson.
A 16-year-old has pleaded guilty to the brutal robbery in August when Mr. Singh was hit 5 times with bottles.
Some guys came to try to steal some bottles, and I was trying to stop them, but unfortunately they attacked me. Some bottles on my head. Luckily I stand up on my feet and save myself and my staff member too.
The attack, caught on CCTV footage, shocked many when it was shown on TV news. In court yesterday, the youth apologised through a letter. It said, "I hope you and your family can forgive me. I will work hard to make sure this does not happen to anyone else." He said he was heavily under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
I asked them for check, can I check your IDs, blah, 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 and they refused to show me their IDs, and they said, we are New Zealanders, no IDs for us.
The 16-year-old, who has been granted permanent name suppression, was sentenced to 6 months supervision while in residence for the aggravated robbery. But Mr. Singh said forgiving and forgetting would be a difficult process.
Get punishment, otherwise same thing, they will do it again. If they got a smooth punishment, I mean, yeah.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Well, still to come here on CTV News, we remember the Ballantyne's fire. Welcome back to CTV News. The Christchurch City Council has been slammed for botching a $40 million development of new planning rules for the city. An independent review found the council's development of the replacement district plan has not produced an effective enough plan for the panel to consider. The review also outlines a series of misjudgments by council staff and talks of a culture of exclusion where even councillors were left out of the process. Council Chief Executive Carleen Edwards has appointed 2 consultants to help the council through the final stages of producing the district plan. With child poverty and homelessness being highlighted nationwide, children living in poverty here continues to be an issue. Chelsea Daniels reports.
Children throughout Canterbury go without some of the most basic necessities, and it's their education that suffers the most. Kids Can is an organisation that supports physical and nutritional needs in low decile schools.
So we provide clothing, food and basic health and hygiene items for kids that might be missing out on the basics.
And she says that it's a national problem. More than 30 schools in Christchurch already benefit from Kids Can, with more on the waiting list for help.
And there are, I think, 2 schools on the waiting list. 3 schools on our waiting list in Christchurch at the moment, which is about 250 kids waiting for support.
One of those schools is Northcote School, where Principal Neil Baker says children are coming to school hungry.
This is where Kids Can make a difference. And that's one reason that we applied to Kids Can to tap into some of their resources, because they've done an incredible job in providing schools and children with shoes and socks and food and coats, things that are some basic necessities.
He says their physical needs suffer as well, with children walking to school in wet weather with inadequate clothing.
Sometimes it will be, 20%, sometimes it would be 50%. It depends on the resource. It's hard. You've sort of got to look at the seasons and you've got to look at the event. Children come adequately in most areas, but not all the time. So by having something that we can tap into would make a big difference to our families.
But the children's nutrition is a major issue. He says as rent prices in Canterbury rise, the food budget is the first thing to be slashed.
We've had some children go to sleep in the classroom, and you start saying to them, why are you so tired? You've been up too late, Sometimes it's the fact that they didn't get breakfast and they didn't have much for tea, and their body is actually tired. They're just not getting the food input that they require.
He says it's all about funding, and the more funding they can get, the more they can do for their children.
I think it's a community problem. How you solve that takes a community. I don't know that there's an easy answer there at all.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Today we remember a significant event in the city's history. It's the 68th anniversary of the Ballantyne's Fire, where 41 people died. The blaze swept through the Central City department store on November 18, 1947. The fire, the worst in New Zealand's history, led to sweeping changes to the fire service, the way it was structured and operated. A memorial for the victims was damaged in the February 2011 earthquake, but was restored last year. Well, now let's catch up with Andrew King in the newsroom with what's happening in your neighbourhood.
Thanks, Jared. A project to beautify Rolleston Railway Station has been dealt a blow. Kiwi Rail has confirmed the earthquake-damaged building is unsafe and will remain off limits. This means ideas residents had to create panels illustrating Rolleston's history will be put on hold. The Selwyn Central Community Board Chairwoman Diane Chesma says the news is not unexpected, but she is disappointed with how long it has taken Kiwi Rail to deliver it. But the group is not going to give up. A meeting will be held this month with sponsors and those interested in the project to discuss a way forward. What a year it has been for former Shirley Boys School student Cody Everson. Everson made his debut for the New Zealand wheelchair rugby team, the Wheel Blacks, in March against Australia. He has now been named as a finalist for an Attitude Live Courage in Sport Award. The 20-year-old suffered a neck injury during a first 15 match for the school about 5 years ago. He will fly to Auckland on December 3 for the ceremony. After a human chain and a community effort, the Rowley Resource Centre has officially moved into its new home. In September, locals, school children, police and university students came together to move the contents from the centre at 59 Rowley Ave to its new home at 89 Rowley Ave. A blessing was held on Monday and Rowley Ave school pupils sung a waiata. Renting little rooms has netted a Rolleston couple a big award. Craig and Karen Nuttall from Just Cabins won the Home and Lifestyle Franchise of the Year at the Westpac New Zealand Franchise Awards. The business rents out portable cabins as extra rooms, offices or on-site accommodation. The award was presented to the Nuttalls at a gala event in Auckland. Need to work on your fitness this summer? We'll head down to the Burnside Park next month and you'll be able to try out stage 1 of the new fitness trail. The Christchurch City Council has purchased the equipment and will install it next month. Equipment includes a sit-up bench, push-up bars, gym rings, stepper, chin-up bars and a vertical ladder. The Commodore Airport Hotel has put around $15,000 towards the project, with the Fendalton Waimāori Community Board contributing about $10,000. The whole project is expected to cost around $80,000, with the other 3 stages to be completed in the new year. From the newsroom, I'm Andrew King.
Thanks so much for that, Andrew. We're still to come here on CTV News, Sport, plus your region's weather. Welcome back to CTV News. Now here's Gordon Finlater with the latest in local sport.
Well, starting with motorsport tonight, and a team of mechanical engineers from Canterbury University are putting their creation through its final paces at Wigram Air Base this week. A team of 30 will head to Melbourne next month to compete in an internationally acclaimed racing competition. Formula SAE, or Formula Student as it's also known, sees top universities from all over the globe gather to compete against one another with a race car of their own design. Some regulations are put in place and then it's up to the teams to create their own beast.
So this year we're running a 450cc Husqvarna motor out of a motocross bike, and we've turbocharged it as well. So that's the power plant, and then the chassis the frame of the car is a carbon fibre monocoque. So that's carbon fibre construction with a honeycomb core, and fully custom independent suspension with carbon fibre arms, and it's pretty much a custom car.
After starting design work at the beginning of the year, the focus has now turned to all-important track time, double-checking everything possible.
We got our car running in early July, and that gave us about 4 months of testing time. And that was really important for us because in previous years there wasn't enough testing time, and that led to some unreliabilities, and that ultimately meant that we didn't do as well as we had hoped to in the competition. So getting the car running early was definitely a big goal, and then that allowed us to test.
The team will contest 5 on-track events in Melbourne, from autocross through to a drag race. The true test for competitors, though, will be the final endurance event, renowned for breaking its fair share of vehicles.
It's not good. It's definitely, it definitely splits the field, and a student design and built sort of thing. There's definitely a few cars that fail to complete it.
And it's not just about the racing, with budgets and marketing also taken into account.
So we've costed each aspect of the car, and we present that in an event. There's also a business case. So the sort of brief for this is to build a sort of a weekend racer type car that you're going to market to people, and so you've got to present that as a business case. And also you have your design event, so you have industry judges, and they come and quiz you about your car and different aspects and your design choices and that sort of thing.
A team of 30 will travel to the event, including 6 nominated drivers, keen to prove their talents in this pocket rocket.
It is an engineering, design and build, but at the end of the day it's a race competition as well. So if you go around the track faster, and if it comes down to it, then that could be the difference.
The UC Motorsport team's car gets shipped off to Melbourne next Monday, ahead of the Formula SAE competition, which begins on December 10th. And finally tonight, the annual primary school summer tournament took place today over 3 venues across the city. Kiwi tag, cricket and slow pitch softball were all held at South Hagley Park, while the tennis competition was held at Cashmere Tennis Club and golf at the Everglades Golf Course. 754 children from 26 schools around the region took part in the event, and primary and intermediate school sports director Lynn Miles says they've seen an increase in participation, up from 450 at last year's tournament. Well, you're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks so much for that, Gordon. Now Mercy's here with your region's weather forecast. And are those southerly winds sticking around?
Thanks, Jared. And no, actually, those southerlies will be disappearing over the next couple of days. They were definitely here this morning, though. Cloudy skies and cold weather out there. Today's highs for South Canterbury, 13 for Timaru and Geraldine, 14 for Temuka and Twizel. Central Canterbury, 13 degrees was a bit of a trend here today. 13 was shared by Christchurch, Akaroa, Leeston, Ashburton and Methven, and Dowfield, you're a little bit different on 14 degrees. Heading further north now, is a chilly one for Hanmer Springs, just 10 degrees for you there and 11 for Kaikoura, 12 for Culverden, 14 for Cheviot, Amberley and Rangiora. Over to the Alpine region now, 11 for you Lake Tekapo and 16 for Arthur's Pass. The good news is tomorrow we're seeing a more settled, dry day with lots of sunshine coming through. 18 is the high there for Timaru and northerly winds, 7 for your overnight low. Ashburton, beautiful blue skies overhead, and look at that, 20 degrees for your high there with strong northerlies in the afternoon. Flipping over now to Christchurch. Beautiful day for the Garden City. 19-degree high there with northeasterlies in the afternoon and 6 for that morning start. Kaikoura, a very mild overnight low for you, 8 degrees there. 17 is your expected high during the day with a few northeasterly breezes. Checking out tomorrow's weather for the rest of the Canterbury region. South Canterbury, northerly winds for all of you. Twizel, 22 degrees there and lots of blue skies. Central Canterbury, beautiful sunshine there as well. Could be a bit of high cloud first up, but that'll be burning off during the day. 18 degrees for Akaroa and Leeston, and a few northeasterly winds for Akaroa as well. Heading further north, we're also seeing that beautiful sunshine, and look at those temperatures. 21 there for Hanmer Springs and Culverden, beautiful spring day. 20 for Amberley. Alpine region now, 18 for Lake Tekapo, with a few northwesterly winds as well. Checking out the upcoming days, Friday is looking hot and sunny with northwesterly winds as well. We are also seeing a little bit of rain in the afternoon, but it'll be very quick. You might even miss it. On Saturday, we're also seeing that sunshine and cloudy skies. However, a southerly is coming through in the afternoon. That'll be cooling down the temperatures a little bit and could be a little bit of rain patches here and there in the afternoon as well. So on Friday, we're expecting quite blustery northwesterly winds and northerlies there for some places. So hold on to your hats on Friday. We are also seeing a little bit of rain coming through in the afternoon, but it'll be rather brief. Mostly just sunshine throughout the day and beautiful hot temperatures. On Saturday, southerly winds in the afternoon as well, with a little bit of rain to be seen there, but light winds in the morning with cloudy skies and sunshine there as well. So Jared, you're in luck over the next couple of days. We aren't expecting those southerlies to show their face until Saturday afternoon. That's your update for Wednesday. Back to you, Jared.
That's good to hear, Mercy. Thanks so much for that. And that is CTV News for Wednesday. You can find all our stories and bulletins on demand at ctv.co.nz. And don't forget to give us a like on Facebook. Well, we leave you tonight with some images honouring All Black great John Olomu, who sadly passed away this morning, aged just 40 years old. I'm Jared McCulloch. We'll see you back here at 5:30 tomorrow. Good evening.
Out it comes again. Now to Lomu. Lomu going for a charge for the line. Can they stop him? No, not this time they can't. And Lomu's over. And this time he was irresistible. Again, Bishop comes into midfield. A long pass to Lomu. Now it's inside to Kronfeld. Kronfeld to Lomu. Lomu going over the corner again for a second try. Bishop, there's men out to Lomu. Lomu goes again at Joyner. And it's Lomu over in the corner.
Bishop again, New Zealand maintaining possession. Wide to Lomu. He's got the bounce. He's handed off his opposite. Lomu. Oh, oh. Zinzan-Brookie can pass the ball as well. Look at this. Right out to Osman. To Lomu. Look out. Lomu in again. So there it is for Bishop again, who's had such a control in the first half, and then a little push out towards Lomu, and Lomu's chasing hard, and the bounce has gone a little. Kronfeld, Lomu, 3 for Lomu. Richards, Morris, intercept by Bishop. Lomu, hands off Tony Underwood. Lomu, heading for 4. That's the most brilliant quartet of tries you'd ever wish to see.
Bunce, floating to the centre to Brewer, to Wilson. Here comes a try for the Lomu man.
Lomu and Campese. Lomu, unstoppable.
Bakari, Mazzariol. Lomu, look at this. How did this happen? Lomu and Bakari. Oh, he's done it again. Out to Lomu. Bakari's not at home. Good night, nurse. Oh, the big man is in again.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.